YouTube, it's your girl Bofina1, bringing you guys another YouTube video. So 2020 into 2021 has been crazy, from the pandemic to people losing their jobs to riots and so much more. So Biden has came up with a plan to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure and jobs. The plan includes road repair and electric vehicle stations, public school upgrades, and training for the clean energy workforce. So the first part of this plan is transportation infrastructure. This part of the plan would be on electric vehicles, which includes electric vehicles and bus fleet, replacing the federal government's fleet, which is something that needs to be done so we can stop polluting the environment and killing the ozone, which is what is causing so much global warming. Many of you maybe who do or do not know, that's been a big issue right now with global warming, is that, because we have these cars that are polluting pretty much the environment, that's the reason why a lot of places, like for example, like in Antarctica, it's getting super warm and the polar bears are having a hard time with being in their natural environment. Or you have certain areas that are now, like in the South, they're now experiencing snow and they never usually experience that. For example, you can look at Texas as one. Texas typically shouldn't be having ice storms and stuff like that. A lot of that is due to global warming. And as well as during the pandemic, which really helped a lot of people, or helped the environment, is since a lot of people were not going to school, so like buses running, they were doing e-learning. A lot of people were not going into work or taking, like trains and public transportation. It was able to slow down a lot of the pollution that was getting into the air, which ultimately, increased the potential for global warming. Next is the quality of life at home, which is build and preserve more than 2 million affordable homes and commercial buildings. So pretty much this will allow for a lot of places that are, I guess you could say, like run down, to allow for them to be, renovated, to get, to improve the quality of the living. Because the reality is that, people that have homes, if they don't take care of the homes will eventually fall apart. And a lot of people don't have the money to necessarily put into their home. They were able to buy it, or maybe they're still paying on the mortgage, so they don't really have a lot of money to be able to just, let's say, put $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 to maybe get structuring done in their house, or to get better tiles, or whatever the case is. And the next is caregivers for elderly and people with disabilities. So pumping money to improve access to quality, affordable home or community-based care for the elderly and people with disability. This would especially make things easier for those who are older and need help but don't have a relative or someone that can be a caregiver. As well as, for those who don't know, a lot of people that are caregivers don't really get paid a lot of money as it is. It's always ironic too, because the jobs that typically you help people, or like you serve people, typically don't pay as well. It's always ironic. So this bill would allow for people also that are caregivers to actually make a decent living, because a lot of people that are caregivers, typically they care for the person maybe during the day or whatever the case is, and then they have to have another job, whether it's at night or on the weekend. So this would enable them to be able to have the caregiving job as their pretty much full-time job. They don't need to necessarily go and try to find another job to make ends meet. Last but not least is research, development, and manufacturing. This would include support for domestic production of technologies and critical good. The plan would be to spend money on new research development with the emphasis on clean energy. So obviously with them talking about, we need to do this, we need to do that, there has to also be some sort of research that goes behind, okay, how are we going to do this? Is this even feasible right now? Do we need to talk to other countries? Whatever the case is. So pretty much you're going to need some engineers to be able to help actually make this plan go through, as well as, this is another side tip for those of you that are in the stock market right now looking at electric cars, clean energy, all that stuff probably is another thing that maybe you should be looking into if you're trying to look to make some extra money. I know I am. So I believe the infrastructure plan is great, because if we don't do something, people are literally going to be on unemployment forever. They'll never be able to go back to work because these jobs are not paying much, and unemployment is paying more than them going back to work. But the reality is we can't have people on unemployment for the rest of our lives, right? So let me know your guys' thoughts about this down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll chat with you later. Peace, Fin Army.